You're a few weeks away from feeling completely different, from beginning to believe that there is another way. You're a few weeks away from stacking some evidence to support that the actions that you are taking will deliver the result that you want. My name is Brian Pannuzzo. I'm an executive coach that helps successful professionals get wealthy outside of the office in their mind, their body, and their relationships. I'm an expert at this because I did it myself. I sat inside of corporate America in a seat, likely just like one that you sit in today. If I can do it, so can you. Welcome back to the show. This is the Success Lift podcast. And like I said, my name is Brian. Welcome to February. We made it through January. God damn, that felt like 7 months, not 1 month. Felt like 100 weeks, not 4 weeks for a lot of us, for a lot of people. Not necessarily me. I certainly had some rough patches. It was a rough go here in Southern California for a lot of people. I've talked about that previously, so no need to rehash it. But for a lot of people, January was not the start of the year that they were looking for. And so I hope it was for you. I hope you executed on the things that you said you needed to. This is always sort of a friendly reminder. I nudge and remind my clients, certainly. My email list, if you're not on my email list, by the way, go to thesuccesslift.com/join. I send a short daily message for the last 4 to 5 years, every single day to your email inbox at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if I didn't send it at 5 a.m., it's either a technical error or check on me because something is wrong. And I appreciate all of you who do check on me when you don't get that email. Short message, inspiration, education, motivation, maybe a little humor. I don't know. It depends on your sense of humor. And if you don't think it's funny, it's you, it's not me. All right. I've been doing that for 5 years. I nudge people, I tell people, I remind people that it's February. There's a month of the year gone already. We're only going to do this another 11 times this year. And in a millisecond like that, I'm snapping my fingers right now. For everybody who's not on YouTube, you should go check out Brian Pannuzzo, the YouTube channel. Appreciate everyone who has subscribed so far. We've been dropping podcasts on here every single week. I'm going to start picking up the YouTube content at some point in the near future. Right now, we're keeping the main thing. All right. 1 month's gone. There's 11 left. In a snap of a finger, I'll be wishing you a happy summer. In a snap of a finger, it'll be the fourth quarter. All right. We'll be doing this again. We'll be having this conversation again. You'll be trying dry January again in January of 2026. By the way, if you did it, how'd it go? It's February 3rd at the time of this podcast recording. I looked at the calendar and smirked because on February 1st, it's a Saturday. So how many people absolutely went off the rails this weekend because they finished their January challenge and the end of January just happened to time up with a weekend? True story. I remember doing my last dry January, my last dry January ever, that I'll ever do because it's stupid. It finished on it was 4 or 5 years ago, I think. And so it finished on a weekend. And I recall, by the way, this is when I was like in the coaching game. I wasn't even the degenerate Wall Street guy that I used to be. All right. So this is how stupid I am too sometimes. I'm not just calling you stupid. I'm an idiot. It was a Saturday morning. And I vividly recall being very excited to find an orange tree somewhere in my neighborhood because we're blessed to live in a very beautiful place. And in the winter, it's orange season. It's citrus fruit season. You can walk around and just pick off lemons and oranges off people's trees and start drinking vodka at 9 a.m. It's amazing. It's pretty tough to actually stick to your plan. And so I got a fresh orange from somewhere in the neighborhood. I came home. I was all excited. I cut it up. I squeezed it into my club soda with vodka. Right? A little bit of vodka, bunch of fresh orange in there. It's a beautiful drink. All right. It was 9 a.m. on a fucking Saturday morning. What's wrong with me? All right. Like I celebrated 31 days of not drinking by drinking at 9 a.m. the next day. And while maybe you did, maybe you didn't, I don't know. Like is that really the point of doing this challenge, so that I can start to drink again and do the exact same shit that I did for the previous 45 days heading into January at 9 a.m. on a Saturday? So just quick story about me. I'm human too. I'm just like you. When I say I can do it, so can you, I mean, I really can. And if I can do it, so can you, because I'm a dummy. Okay. And so you should be able to do these things too, because I can. I'm going to watch my language and not put that stuff out into the universe. I'm not a dummy. I am the man. Because if I don't believe I'm the man, you won't either. Okay. So hopefully January went well for you. Hopefully you're moving forward with your progress, not perfection, as we talked about recently. Hopefully you did not try to sprint out of the gates. Hopefully you have now got some momentum in your life and you're moving a little bit forward. You're actually doing some of the things that you said you were going to do. But this message this week is for those of you who maybe are still stumbling, all right? And maybe you started January with great intentions. Maybe you did truly believe that this was your time again. And maybe you got popped in the face, just like Mike Tyson says. We all have a plan until we get punched in the face. So what do you do? What do you do? What I wanted to convey this week is this message that I've been talking a little bit about with my clients recently, which is sort of thematic, and it's not literal sometimes. It's definitely more figuratively, but usually you're a few weeks away. And I told them that because I recently noticed, and I'm going to pull my phone up here for those of you on YouTube. I recently noticed that in my food tracking app that I use for myself, I've tracked my food every single day for the last 2 years plus, with the exception of 2 days, which is why I'm bringing this story up. I noticed on my food tracking app that I had recently hit 100 consecutive days of tracking my food. Now, I know exactly when I broke my about 1.5-year streak at that point, 1.75-year streak. I went to South Carolina with some of my best friends in the world and went on a golf trip. And quite frankly, just drank so much one day that I forgot to put my food in. I didn't intend on taking a break because I've taken breaks, meaning I drink alcohol, I eat, low quality food. I eat food where you're like, gee, I wonder what the hell was in that. Well, I'll do my best and I'll put it in. There's a lot of different ways to do this, and I do them all. So I fully intended to track my food. I just consumed too much alcohol and I forgot. And then the next day, guess what I did? I consumed too much alcohol again. I forgot. And so by the time I kind of realized what I had done or not done, I thought it was disingenuous for me to go back. First of all, I didn't really remember because I forgot the first time, but I thought it was disingenuous for me to go back and post entered food. Now I've done that before. Like I wake up this morning and I'm like, ooh, I got to put my dinner in from last night. Or, ooh, I stopped tracking around lunch, but I meant to track. I just, I know exactly what I had. I'll put it back in. I thought it was disingenuous for me to do it because I legitimately didn't put it in. And I was like, all right, streak's over. And so what can you do when you lose in a streak? What can you do when you stop doing something that you intended to continue to do? The only thing you can do is start again. And so that's what I did. I started again. And I said to my clients recently, I was like, this trip felt like it was a couple weeks ago. It was the beginning. It was the first week or the second week of October. It was like Columbus Day weekend. And I mean, shit, like I felt like that trip was 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Okay. And it was 100 days. Now it's like 115 days or something like that. And so my point was, it's like, I can't believe that I've already hit 100 consecutive days of tracking my food again. It felt like it was just a few weeks ago that I restarted. And so the point to you guys, and I'll use other examples here with my clients, my client, Kyle, who started working with me in early December is down like close to 10 pounds. He's a financial professional. He has to travel for work from one location where he lives to another location where he works for a few days a week. He's had conferences to go to. His wife has had to go away for a week. He's been a solo dad, right? Seems to be putting it all together. And when I say he's down 10 pounds, he's down 10 pounds. He ain't like 275 pounds. He started at like 165. All right, we're getting him lean, then we're going to put some muscle on him. And he said to me recently, thank God I started in December. Thank God, because I never would have gotten through this holiday stretch and this beginning part of January that got way busier than I thought it would, because it always does. Life always gets busier than we thought it would. And I had a plan. And it wasn't perfect, but I executed it. And I feel great about it. And I'm ready for the next step. Or like my client, Mark, who's down like 13 or 14 pounds from like a couple days after Thanksgiving or the week before Thanksgiving when he started with me. He could have punted to January too, but he didn't. Has he been perfect the entire time? No. Is he doing really well? Yeah, he's doing great. And he said the same thing. It's like after a few weeks, like there isn't massive, tangible progress sometimes, but like I feel so much different. And I hope you feel that way in the first week of February, on February 3rd. I hope you feel that way because you started on January 1st and you actually stuck to it. But I feel like so many people are probably thinking, here we go again. I told myself I was going to have a great January. I was going to get back to it. I was going to do the things that I know I need to do. And I'm still in this rut. I'm still in this cycle. And so most people will just fucking stay here all year. And it's like, just commit for a few weeks. Just prove to yourself that there's a better way. Now, here's a side note that is a problem. You likely don't know what that better way is. I know you know what not to do, but I am telling you now, with 6+ years of experience doing this, working with hundreds of people, it may be approaching 1,000 soon because of the corporate wellness programs that I've run, working with blocks of 25, 50, 75 people at a time. I currently have 42 one-on-one clients right now and have one team coming on board this month. Can't wait for that. But the hundreds of people that I've worked with, I've now realized everyone knows what not to do. But just about everybody that I work with anyway, they don't actually know what to do in order to get the results that they truly want. I used to think that everyone knew what to do. They just didn't want to do it or didn't know how to do it. But they don't. You don't know. I'm telling you, you don't know what you don't know. And you keep repeating the same dumb shit over and over and over again. And if you did it in your business, you would look at the results and you'd go, what the hell am I doing this for? This doesn't make sense. Let's get everybody in a room and let's fucking figure this out. Because we're not leaving this room until we figure it out. Yet we all leave the room every week and we just go back and we just keep doing what we're doing. And we just keep getting the same mediocre results in our personal lives. And we keep plugging forward and grinding it out in our professional life. And then we wonder what the hell is going on with our minds, our bodies, and our relationships. And so when are you just going to say, I maybe can't do this on my own? I should go find some help. I don't give a shit if that's with me or not, because I got a lot of clients. I'm good. If I can help you, I would love to. And there are so many great programs out there, so many great coaches out there. Are they as qualified as me? I don't think so, but that's okay. They're very qualified. I learn from a lot of them. I'm in one myself. I'm in a phenomenal coaching program myself. I've learned from, it's been held me accountable. It's pushed me to new limits. Go join them. But at some point, you have to start thinking, is this working for me? And if it's not, try something different. Now, we keep trying new things. You're just trying things that don't work ultimately, but at least try something different. Because you're a few weeks away from feeling completely different, from beginning to believe that there is another way. You're a few weeks away from stacking some evidence to support that the actions that you are taking will deliver the result that you want. You have to take a leap of faith when you start the journey, but you don't need that much time to be able to look back and say, okay, I think I'm on the right track. And that evidence that you build will support you the next time you feel like you're about to go off the rails or you stumble a little bit. Remember that pesky horse that we've talked about in the past? When people fall off it, they just sit on the ground and they look at the horse and they wonder why. They shouldn't. Should I get back on? I don't know. Should I? I'm not really sure. Get the fuck back on the horse. Do you think anybody who rode horses back in the day debated whether or not they should get back on the horse when they fell off? Because there was no Uber to pick them up. That was Uber. They got back in, they got back on, and they just started going again. Because they had evidence to suggest that the damn horse would get them from point A to point B because that's what they did. That was the method of transportation. Yet when we fall off our horses, we just lay around. We just kick ourselves. We just complain. We just think that life's too busy. We just say that work is getting crazy again. If life is too busy and work is always crazy, you are the fucking problem, not work and not life. You are the constant in those equations. If you have some evidence after a few weeks of doing the right things, you're good. You can fall back on that. You have belief in a process. So my hope for you in February, if you didn't find it in January, is to find a process, find a program, find structure, get accountability in your life. I cannot stress this enough. Again, if it's with a program like mine, with someone who's literally sat, maybe literally the exact seat that you sit in, because I work with many people that do the job that I used to do. I work with people who are medical professionals, doctors, surgeons, dentists. I work with lawyers. I work with business owners. I work with salespeople. I mean, like, it runs the gamut. But there's a high probability that I can relate to your situation because I worked inside of corporate America. I am a specialist when it comes to that individual. I promise you that if you can develop a process in your life, maybe by somebody who lived it, or maybe not, go find someone else. But get accountable to a process, get accountable to a program, have a system that you can follow on a weekly basis. Have a process to check in. You wouldn't get in the car and drive someplace where you don't know the exact destination without putting it into Waze. That person, that program, that group, that community, that is your turn-by-turn directions. They will tell you when you are off the road. They will tell you when it's time to get back on. They will tell you when it's time to take a rest stop. They will help you. They will move you along. If the car goes into the ditch, they will help you drag it out. Literally drag it out. So you're a few weeks away. Trust me. Please trust me. If you're struggling right now in early February or whenever the hell you're listening to this or watching this, you're a few weeks away. I promise you. If I can help you, let me know. I'll see you back here next week.